Imagine sitting in a massive, high-stakes board meeting. You pull up a gorgeous spreadsheet generated by your AI tool. The numbers look absolutely perfect. You present them confidently to your boss, but right in the middle of your pitch, you realize the terrifying truth.
Oh, no.
The AI just quietly invented half the revenue data out of thin air. Beat. Welcome to the Deep Dive. We are exploring an incredible source guide today. It tackles the honesty gap in modern AI.
It is honestly a massive vulnerability for anyone using these tools right now.
Our mission is fixing this exact problem. We are going to unpack why AI invents these answers, even when the truth is staring it right in the face.
Yeah, we really need to understand that.
We will reveal a strict three-step prompt method. It is designed to catch these hidden mistakes perfectly, and we will show how to totally transform your final data review.
It completely flips the script on how you audit information. You are never going to look at AI outputs the same way again.
But before we can actually fix the machine, we have to understand why it lies to us, and more importantly, why we keep falling for it.
The sources refer to this as the honesty gap. It is a really fascinating concept.
AI tools are getting incredibly smart right now.
They really are. They read massive 100-page documents in seconds. They summarize chaotic meetings effortlessly. But their honesty just is not keeping pace with their capability.
They seem fundamentally incapable of admitting their own ignorance.
Right, and that is the core issue here. They cannot easily say, I don't know. The entire system is built around this deep desire to be helpful.
The architecture is literally designed to please the user.
Exactly. So if a specific fact is completely missing from the text, the machine basically panics inside.
I picture the AI like a terrified, eager-to-please intern.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
It is their first day on the job. You
Yeah.
ask them for a critical file. They cannot find it anywhere.
Oh, right.
But they are so terrified of looking incompetent, they just draft a fake one. They hand it to you, desperately hoping you won't notice.
It is a people-pleasing mechanism gone totally rogue. The AI feels like it failed its primary mission, so it just uses its logic pathways to guess the answer.
It fills the void to keep you happy.
Yeah. But these guesses do not come with any bright red warning labels. The sources call these things silent mistakes.
They look exactly like real, verifiable facts.
They really do. Think about asking a tool to review a complex legal contract. It scans the document and sees conflicting payment clauses. Page 2 says 30 days, page 6 says 45 days. Instead of flagging that massive discrepancy, it just quietly picks one.
The conflict is completely hidden from you. You would never even know there was an issue.
Or think about messy, disorganized meeting notes. Someone mutters they will try to check on a project next week.
Right, a vague comment.
The AI grabs that non-committal promise. It turns it into a hard, concrete deadline. It suddenly assigns a specific date and person.
But nobody actually agreed to that in the meeting at all.
Exactly. But the sources highlight a second equally dangerous problem here. Unfortunately, that problem is us.
Humans are a massive part of this entire failure loop.
We suffer deeply from something called automation bias.
Meaning we blindly trust machines just because their output looks smart.
Yeah, we really do. It is the illusion of clean data. A table full of completely wrong numbers looks incredibly professional.
It is formatted perfectly.
It has bold headers and crisp alignment. It looks exactly like a table full of perfectly right numbers.
I have to make a vulnerable admission here. I still wrestle with trusting a clean spreadsheet just because the formatting looks professional.
We all fall for it constantly.
My brain just assumes the data must be accurate. It is a very dangerous illusion.
The perfect presentation actively tricks our brains. It lowers our cognitive defenses. We feel safe, so we check the data much less carefully.
Then those tiny silent errors just stay embedded in the work.
And they slowly grow into massive business problems over time.
We let our guard down completely because the packaging is pretty.
And that is the danger of the honesty gap. The raw intelligence of the tool keeps going up, but the transparency stays exactly the same.
Let's pause and really drill down into the mechanics of this. Why exactly does the AI feel so much pressure to fill in those blanks?
Because its underlying programming explicitly rewards generating an output over ensuring strict accuracy.
Ah, so it literally views a blank space as a failure. Beat.
Exactly. It is fighting its own core directive.
Since its default programming views empty spaces as failures, we have to actively rewire its incentive structure.
We need to build a completely new set of rules. The source outlines a very strict three-step method for this.
This is where you finally take control back from the machine.
Step 1 is surprisingly simple, but incredibly powerful. You must explicitly tell the machine to leave things blank.
An empty space is actually honest.
It is the most honest thing the AI can do. It tells you exactly what data is missing.
It highlights exactly what needs your human attention.
But you also need to enforce a strict grounding rule here.
Let's define that. A grounding rule just limits the AI strictly to the provided text.
Yeah, you literally tell it, stay with the text only. You are building a fence around its knowledge base.
A common fatal mistake is forgetting to include that grounding line.
If you forget it, the AI just brings in outside knowledge. It sneaks out to the internet to guess the answer.
It breaks the fence and wanders off.
Exactly. And there is another crucial part to step one. You must always ask the AI why it left a blank.
Otherwise, you are just staring at an empty box. You waste hours hunting through the document for the reason yourself.
Right. A short explanatory note saves you massive amounts of reading. It might say, the text mentions revenue but omits the exact year.
Now you know exactly what the problem is.
That brings us to step two. This step actively changes the machine's reward system.
Oh, this is huge.
You must explicitly give the AI a new mathematical rule. You tell it, a wrong answer is 3 times worse than a blank.
This is like pulling that terrified intern into your office. You give them a totally new job description. You clearly explain that guessing wrong now costs them their annual bonus.
And it changes their entire behavior instantly. They stop guessing immediately because the risk is just too high.
Leaving it blank is totally fine, but a wrong guess is fatal.
But there is a huge hidden trap here that people fall into. The sources warn against this constantly. You should never ask the AI for a confidence score.
Like asking if it is 9 out of 10 sure about a fact.
Yeah, people love asking for those scores, but that score just gives the machine an excuse to lie confidently.
It essentially lets the tool decide its own level of trustworthiness.
An AI will happily invent a fake fact and then proudly give it a 10 out of 10 confidence rating.
It is grading its own homework.
Exactly. You should always use blank spaces and written reasons instead. Force it to explain itself. Do not just ask for a shiny number.
That perfectly sets up step 3. You have to force the AI to show its exact source.
This is the auditing safety net. You force the AI to label every single answer it gives you.
It must use the word extracted or the word inferred.
Let's define those carefully. Extracted means the fact is a direct quote from the provided document.
Yes, it is pulled right from the text.
And inferred means the AI used logic to guess from the surrounding context. For every single inferred answer, you must demand a 1-sentence explanation.
You need to see its underlying logic clearly laid out.
The sources say a common mistake is not separating these answers clearly.
If you do not separate them, you completely destroy your safety net.
You will end up mixing hard facts with algorithmic guesses. You won't know which data points are actually real.
You will end up treating a fragile guess like a rock-solid fact.
That defeats the whole purpose of using the system. You are right back to trusting the shiny spreadsheet.
You really are. You have to force the machine to show its work.
When it literally writes the word inferred, it is admitting it made a leap. You, the human, can then judge if that specific leap actually makes sense.
Let me ask about that penalty concept again. Does telling it 3 times worse actually change the math inside the model's head?
Yes, explicitly weighting the penalties actively shifts the AI's probability filters.
We basically just hack its incentives by making guessing too expensive. Beat.
Exactly. We adjust the internal math, deciding which word comes next. Mid-roll sponsor, read placeholder.
So we have hacked the incentives. We have completely rewired the rules of engagement.
We have.
But how does this actually change our Tuesday morning workflow? We need to look at how this fundamentally transforms our data auditing.
The sources provide some brilliant real-world applications for this exact framework. It moves it from theory into daily practice.
What's through them?
Imagine you are analyzing Facebook ad reports for your marketing business. The raw data exports are often incredibly messy or missing entirely.
Without these strict rules, the AI just guesses the cost per lead. It wants to give you a complete pretty table.
Right, it uses a weak generalized formula to invent a number. It fills the cell so you won't be mad.
But with these new rules applied, it just leaves that cell blank.
It tells you exactly which specific day has a data error. It prevents you from making terrible budget choices based on a hallucination.
Let's shift context and look at cryptocurrency news next.
Oh, the stakes are incredibly high there.
You are reading a dense 40-page white paper about a brand new coin.
It is full of complex jargon and chaotic formatting. You really just want the exact total supply and the launch date.
A normal, lazy prompt makes the machine guess the launch date.
If it is not in the paper, it pulls random rumors from the internet.
It breaks the fence again.
Exactly. But our strict system extracts the exact total supply cleanly. It labels it extracted.
And it leaves the launch date completely blank if it is genuinely unclear.
You always get safe, verified information that way.
What about a legal context? Let's say we are reviewing sponsor contracts.
This is honestly a perfect daily use case for this method. You are scanning a messy PDF.
Page 2 clearly says payment is due in 30 days.
But buried down on page 6, another clause says 45 days.
Under the old system, it just picks one and hides the conflict.
Under our new system, the AI spots the conflict immediately. It leaves the final payment term blank.
Yes, and in the reason column, it points out the exact error.
It says conflict between page 2 and page 6. Now you can actually call your partner and clarify before signing anything.
You avoid a massive, expensive headache down the road.
The source guide provides a final master prompt to tie this together. It is a simple, copy-paste, 7-rule numbered list.
It forcefully locks the AI into this strict structural format.
It outputs a very specific table. It has a reason column and a source column. It also demands exact page numbers for everything it finds.
This essentially creates what they call the 3-step fast review process.
It completely changes how you spend your time. You no longer read every single line of the AI's output.
First, you focus entirely on the blanks.
You read the short reason it left them empty.
You are just checking its homework on the missing pieces.
Second, you check the inferred boxes. You read that one sentence to see if the machine's logic actually holds up.
Right, you make sure its logical leap is not totally crazy.
Finally, you look quickly at the extracted boxes. You can basically trust those cited page numbers completely.
Whoa, beat. Imagine reducing a massive, stressful contract review into just scanning 3 blank boxes.
It completely eliminates the exhausting stress of hunting for constant errors. The table acts like a map.
It tells you exactly where the remaining risks are located.
You do not have to guess or panic anymore.
It fundamentally changes how you interact with the information. You are suddenly auditing the process itself, not just passively reading words.
You graduate. It makes you a true manager of the AI tool.
You stop being a passive, vulnerable consumer of its automated guesses.
You become an editor.
But let me push back on that last step. Can we entirely skip reading those extracted parts of the document now?
You still do a quick glance, but the exact page citations mean the heavy lifting is completely done.
So we stop hunting for needles and just audit the machine's doubts.
Beat. Exactly.
Let's take a step back and recap the big idea here today. Artificial intelligence is not inherently bad, and it is not intentionally deceptive.
It does not have a malicious agenda.
It is just an incredibly powerful, eager tool, but it desperately needs strict mathematical boundaries to work safely.
We simply have to prioritize honesty over helpfulness every single time. When we actively do that, we take control back from the machine.
We stop letting it guess just to please us. We demand clarity.
I highly recommend you try this out today on one single document. Take a messy weekly report or a short transcript.
Apply these 3 rules
Yeah.
and just see the difference for yourself.
You are going to catch structural issues so much faster than before. You will feel incredibly more in control of your daily business data.
It makes you wonder. 2-sec silence. If we can train an AI to value a blank space and an honest, over a confident guess, maybe we should start demanding the same standard from ourselves in our own meetings.